Teachers should be respectful, helpful, and they should not be careless about their students. Because if they were careless, why would they be a teacher?
I am a first grade teacher.
I'm a special ed teacher.
I'm a third grade teacher.
Campus education interventionist.
I am a fourth grade teacher, reading and writing.
Special education resource teacher.
Assistant principal.
Principal. I chose this career because I wanted to make a difference in children's lives.
To make a greater impact on the lives of the students.
I guess how beautiful it is, when you're around children and they remind you constantly that, they always need support, they always need guidance, and that you're a role model to them.
Because I love children, and I think that children are an important part of our society because they're going to be our future.
One of the struggles that we face is the demands of that STAR state exam.
Teaching to the test, the STAR.
I would say that it has to be discipline.
The lack of English language by both parents and children.
Not targeting the students adequately.
We have so many cases that it looks like the student is the parent. They manipulate the parent and just parenting skills. I think they need more parenting skills.
Probably assessments.
Right now, what I'm seeing is that kids struggle with critical thinking for themselves.
It's a lack of parental support.
The pressure that is put into having children pass that test in order to show that they are being successful. The misconception that I think people have about teachers is that they only teach. That's not true. There's a lot of subtitles within this profession. You're not just a teacher. I mean, sometimes you're the nurse, you're the counselor, you have different hats. So that's a misconception that people have, that you're only here to teach, and that's not the case.
Well, I remember I went to a teacher store and I heard this gentleman talking to the clerk, and I remember when I got moved to elementary and he mentioned to the clerk, oh, well, in second grade and first grade you're just babysitting. And in my mind I thought he has a misconception.
My brother, for one. We were discussing my job and his job. He says his job is really hard because he's works in the oil fields and that he struggles, there's danger and stuff. And then he said, well, I'm very stressed. He said, why? You're just sitting in your desk and taking care of kids. To him, I feel like I'm just a babysitter, not teaching them how to color, how to draw, how to do shapes. But in reality, it's not just that.
We might work 12, 13, 14 hours a day. We come in very early. And yes, it can be overwhelming with a lot of paperwork, homework and things like that we as educators have to do.
Teaching is not something that just anybody can do. It's not easy.
That a lot of people think that teaching is an easy job, that, oh, you don't do anything, but we are overwhelmed with the work.
Go back to my first year of teaching. I was taking 9 hours of college credit in the evening, and I had just had my son. He was about 6 months old. And again, this was my first year in teaching, learning everything. I had no classroom experience at that time. I did not go through blocks since I went through the ACP program. So basically thrown into the classroom, and I had a student that would throw temper tantrums, and it was very difficult to deal with him, throwing himself on the floor and kicking and hitting. And so yes, I was ready to quit that year.
It would be wonderful for parents to spend a little bit more time, reading to their children, or even correcting them in the language, talking to them the correct way. because we do have a lot of issues with Spanish and English language being combined at the same time. So that would be a really good help from the parents to teach their children, right, how to speak the right words, either or a whole sentence in Spanish, a whole sentence in English, and just have more quality time and be more interested in their activities.
Talk with them and spending that quality time, even if it's 15 minutes, 10 minutes, something, so that they can see that their parent, that they value their education.
Families, I think, need to be more involved in school and in their child's lives.
Communicate with the teacher. Care about what the kids need to do. Make it a priority to ask them, okay, how was your day? Let me see your binder. Let me see what you need to do.
That families need to want and try, even if they don't speak English, just check that they do their homework, check that they did this, check that they did that. Come and ask us questions.
Still now, I think society does not value teachers the way they should. Okay, we're still lacking that respect from the parents.
I have heard that teachers at times are just babysitters, and I strongly disagree with that.
There's not a lot of importance placed into it. Like, a teacher is now no big, it's nothing.
Probably view us as babysitters, and
I think teachers are a scapegoat. If a student doesn't learn as much as they should, as much as is expected, the one to blame is the teacher. Usually you hear it's the teacher, it's not the student.
Or those who can't teach, but they don't realize everything that we do.
well, you got summers off, you were 8 to 3, but really at 3 o'clock we're still here because we have tutorials and we have to sign out at a certain time, and sometimes a call comes in, and it's not like a regular job because it's not, you don't clock in and clock out.
A teacher is a person that you see almost every day because she or he is that one person that tells you to continue your education so you can get to be someone in life. And if they wouldn't do that, then what's the point of having that person as a teacher?
At the end of the day, every hour, every minute spent, and every situation, positive or negative, it's all worth it. It's all worth it because every decision that was made or every situation that was encountered, it was a decision made for the best interest of the student.
At the end of everything, the work is definitely worth it. When you see the children years later, and you get to realize or find out that they have accomplished, a position in society where they're enjoying their job, they have grown as an individual. It's just very rewarding to see them with their jobs, families, being able to support their families. So it's very much worth it.
It is worth it. I mean, it's very hard, but when you change a child's life and you make a difference in their life,
It does pay off. I mean, seeing their smiles and being happy and just having them succeed.
It's tough. You have to put a lot of yourself into it. But I do think that at the end of the day, it's completely worth it because even if I'm not able to change the life of all of my students, I know that I made a difference in at least one.
It is. Everything. Every tear, every night that I stay up trying to figure out how to help them, because when they finally get something and you see their faces light up, makes it all worth it.
I've always given my profession 100% or more because, again, I want my students to do well in the state assessment. All the work I did, all the times I stayed late, all the money I've spent on my own to provide resources for my students, is it going to be worth it in the end? Are they going to perform the way I hope they perform? We'll see.
I actually, all my teachers have inspired me to do well because they would see that I was good and they would tell me to keep it up, and that would give me the motivation to do better. And with their motivation, I am where I am now.
The fact that at the end of the year you see how those children grew, and in all aspects, not just their learning. I mean, you do have an impact on them. So, I mean, I wouldn't change it for any other career. I like what I do.
I think that school is important to everybody. I think I could be doing more because I want to have a lot of brains so we can be ready for other grades so I can get a job.